How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to htaccess. Today we're going to be dealing with hosting and Laravel version 10, particularly on shared hosting, where we're going to be using Hostinger as our main service provider, and we're going to be showing you how to use Git to also enable webhooks and continuous integration stroke continuous development. So if you definitely like what we're going to be doing, don't forget, at the end of this video, if you find this very interesting, you better be able to subscribe. But as of now, toss that like so that we can be able to carry on. Now, let's continue. Now, over here, I'm going to come in here and type hostinger.com. And I'd like you to do that as well if you don't have any Hostinger accounts. And I want you guys to go ahead and check out the web hosting for small to medium websites packages, so that you can be able to understand what packages are being offered when it comes to Hostinger and their web hosting packages. So let's check this out, we have these three packages over here. We have our single web hosting, we have the premium web hosting, and the business web hosting. Avoid the single web hosting at all costs, because there's one thing that has not been enabled within a single web hosting, and that is SSH access. SSH access enables this to work with CI/CD and also Laravel deployment all the same. If you cannot have SSH access within your within your shared hosting account, then installing and deploying that Laravel project that you so desire to deploy will not be possible on that hosting account. Now, you'll come in here. For me, I'm going to go ahead and show you the all-out one, the business web hosting. But premium web hosting works pretty much the exact same way with how we're going to be deploying this Laravel application. Okay, as of now, I'm going to go to my hosting account. You can see this is business web hosting, and you can see a list of domains that have been deployed using that business web hosting. I'm going to go ahead to this one, stevenyanuba.com, because I don't stand to lose literally anything when I'm dealing with this one. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to manage, and then there's two things that you need to enable. First of all, you need to check out your advanced section where there's Git, okay, and remove all the repositories that are linked to whatever it is that you're going to link to. For this one, I want it to link to this path, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this repository. Okay, then on top of that, I'm going to go ahead to my file manager. So I'm going to go to files, and I'm going to go to file manager, and I'm going to go to access files of stevenyanuba.com, and it's going to take me to the files themselves so that we can be able to check out what it is that we need to do. So public HTML needs to generally be there, because that's where the files of our Laravel are going to lie. And then if I double click on this, you can generally see that we have some files over here that are, pretty much of essence in this particular application. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come in here and delete all of these, and I'm going to skip trash bin and delete immediately. Okay, so now upon deleting this, we can see our folder is empty. So now this is the groundwork or layout for working with our Laravel application. So to deploy a Laravel application whatsoever, let's actually start by checking out one of the ones that we were able to deploy or rather create as afresh. So I'm going to come in here to this PC. My Laravel is over here. I'm going to go to www, and then I'm going to come in and click on maybe this one, stevenyanuba.com. And this one is the one that I'm going to be using for my portfolio. So I'm just going to come in here and do, code dot, so that I can be able to see the code and see if everything has been deployed, effectively. So I'm going to come in here into the terminal. Hold on. So I'll come in here to the terminal and then just type git status, so that I can see what has and what hasn't been deployed. Although I already have this online, so I'm just going to come in here and type git remote -v. And then I'm going to come in here and click on this so that we can be able to check out what it is that is online. So you can see most of it is the beginning, and most of it also has this htaccess. This htaccess is the most vital thing that you should add into your Git projects. So let's actually just craft out a new application and then see how that works. All right, so I'm going to go ahead to my www. I'm going to come in here and do open a terminal, and then I'm going to type Laravel new test site. I'm going to create a test site for Laravel, and as it continues, we shall wait and see how it goes down. So it's a Laravel version 10. So there's some things that we may need to tweak into our hosting package so that we can be able to accommodate Laravel version 10 into our system. So now, as you can see, we have our Laravel application up and running. It only took us a gazillion minutes, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm just going to come in here and just type code test-site, and we're going to open this up in VS Code. So as you can see, this has already been set up like this. If I come in here and just do PHP artisan serve, I'll be able to see that this is running on our site. If I could open up my Laravel, yes, so this is my browser with the site open and it's running. So what I need to do in this situation, as you can see, this after deleting those files from here, all I'm going to come in here and check out is if now it's running. So stevenyanumber.com, here it is, and you can see 43 forbidden because it's empty, and we want to put this online. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Okay, I'm just going to close the server. I'm just going to do git init, and then I'm going to say git add all. Then I'm doing git commit -m, and I will just come in here and do the first commit, and then I'll say git push origin master. But there's no master branch, there's no origin remote branch, so there's nothing for me to add. So I'm just going to come in here and just do git remote, and then I'm going to say add origin, and you have to attach a link to this. So I'm going to come in here and create a new repository. So I'm just going to come into my main side, and I'm just going to come and add a new repository. I think I should just do it from where? I've forgotten how to use GitHub. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm going to come in here, add a new repository, and then I'm just going to call it test site. Okay, it's available. I'm going to leave it public, and then I'm going to create the repository. Now, the next thing I'd want to do is I'll go into my hosting space. I'll go to Git. All right, I'll go to the Git situation. Where is the Git situation? It's in advanced. And I'm going to go to Git, and then I'm going to come in here and add the repository over here. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it here. And then directly to public HTML, so I'll leave it blank. And everything is fine and dandy at this point. All right, so I'm just going to come in here and look at the latest build output. You can see repository checking, project directory is empty. Cloning code repository, branch master is not found in upstream origin, deployment failed. All right, so I'm just going to come in here and do auto deployment as well. So I'm going to copy this webhook. All right, and then I'm going to click on this, which will redirect me to the place where we're supposed to do all of this. So I make a request to my phone, my mobile phone. Of course, I do double authentication with my mobile phone. Everything is always on point with that. And then I can approve this, and then it will refresh on this part. So I'll come in here and I'll just paste this one because I copied the, this is the one, 751, 751, yeah. And then I have to change this because if I use www form URL encoded, it's not going to work. It's not going to work no matter what you do. So I'm just going to come in here and change this to application JSON, and I'm going to add the webhook. And at this point, once you add the webhook, it does a test push, and so that you'll have your item deployed then. All right. So now I'm going to use this same URL for the Git repository inside our test site. Git remote add origin is where we left it at. So I'm just going to come in here and do. I'm just going to come in here and select that link, and then I'm going to press enter. Now I'll just do this. So since if we, let's actually zoom in so that we can be able to see it much more clearer. Clearer. So if we can see, if you can look, we see that our repository is going to use the main branch. But what we did over here is we set it to the master branch. So we have to change which branch this is going to go to in terms of the Git repository. So I'm just going to come in here and just do git branch. And then I'm doing -M, and then I'm going to change this to master. All right, so you can see it's changed to master. All I just need to do now is git push origin master. And just like that, it's going to be pushed online. And as it gets pushed online, we'll be able to see it in our test site webhook. So if I come in here and click on webhooks, and then I see recent deliveries, at this very second, it's pushed something at 8:30 with 27 seconds. It has pushed something to this side. So if I come in here and check this side, okay, and view the latest deploys, there's nothing that's going to be checked out yet. So if I come in here, well, it's been pushed. If it's being pushed, then it's definitely going to show up in our files. So if I come to the files, I go to File Manager and access the files of stevenyanumba.com. I go to public HTML and I'll see all the files that are already there. If I come in here into the 403 forbidden, if I refresh this, it will change. And it will actually, well, it has to change right now. Well, it's still going to say 403 forbidden and access to this resource on the server is denied. The reason why that is because of the htaccess that is not present. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to touch .htaccess, which will create an empty htaccess file over here. I'll go ahead and click on it and see what it is that we need to paste on this side. Okay, so I'm going to look at my past applications and see the htaccess that we were dealing with beforehand. So I'm just going to always open this with VS Code, and you can see this is just the script that we need to copy and paste. This is all that is required by our htaccess. Yeah, so you're going to check the if module mod rewrite c.c rewrite engine on, rewrite rule to check the public file and everything else that is in liaise with the public file. The reason why it's going to check the public file is because inside our public file is the running index.php, and the corresponding htaccess that runs there is also going to be present in this situation. So it definitely has to run from the public file, but then it needs to run in a manner that it's not going to actually access the rest of these other folders as a means of actually, trying to get, I don't know, could we call it conceptual validation or something like that? I don't remember the term, but I'm just going to copy this and then come in here and paste it into this htaccess. Not much to explain really. I'll just do that and then I'll come in here and do the git push. So I'll just come in here and do git add, and then I'll do git commit, and I'll say that this is the htaccess file, okay, and then I'll do git push origin master. All right, so now we're good to go. If we come in here and refresh this, then we'll be able to see that this has changed. And now this is how you know that the htaccess is actually working. Okay, so now at this point, you need to come in and deploy your Laravel application online so that it can be able to run the composer functions. But now the problem here is, if we go back to our, our Git processes, let's actually just go back to Git and see what's going on. If we go back to our Git processes, right? We'll view latest deploy. You can see that looking for composer log file, found composer log file, updating hash, and then it says your requirements could not be resolved to an installable set of packages. Deployment failed. Okay, so that's what happens when your composer version for Laravel 10 is definitely going to be higher than the Composer version that's being used by Hostinger at this current standpoint. So Composer needs to be updated on the entirety of Hostinger to version 2.5 or 2.2, anything above 2.2, because for Laravel 10 to work on your hosting side of things, you need the Composer version 2.2 and beyond. And for us to prove that that's the theory, I'm going to come in here and do something called htaccess. There's always a link that's given to this. Log into SSH. Here it is. I always use a public key to log into my SSH. So I'm going to come in here and to use my terminal. I could use my git bash. I could use my cmd. I could use anything. But now I'm going to use my git bash. Let's actually zoom in and see what happens here. So I'm just going to do shift insert to enter this, and then it's going to use my public key. You can see ID RSA. I'm just going to come in here and do my password, and then I'm in. So this makes sure that I am already in. Now this is not just for the stevenyanuba.com. This is for the entirety of the business shared hosting. All right, so if I do ls to list the directories in the main section, you'll see Composer, domains, and all these other different things. All right, so you can see there's already Composer in this situation. So if I come in here and do if I come in here and do cd Composer, all right, or rather, if I just did Composer, I'll be able to see that the Composer version that I'm using in this situation is version 1.1.0, which was last used in 2021, and we're in 2023. So you can tell, like, this is literally just beyond our scope at the moment. So now I'll just need to go ahead and cd into domains and then ls, so that you can see that all the domains that we've registered under this business web hosting they're all intact. The one I want to access here is stevenyanumba.com, and then I will be able to see if I ls, I'll be able to see the public.html. So if I come and cd again, so to public HTML, sorry, underscore HTML, and I'll be able to ls, and I'll be seeing that we have our our application, our Laravel application over here. So this is the point where I can come in here and do Composer install, and this will not work for the sole reason that we have Laravel 10 only working with Composer runtime version 2.2 and above. So you can see we need to actually install Composer into this particular directory. And how do we go about that? Well, I'm going to come in here and open. I'm just going to come in and type Composer install, Composer download latest 2.55, right? 2.5.5. And I'm just going to copy all these links right here. Okay. So this is what these links do. This is what these links do. To quickly install Composer in the current directory, all right, run the following script in your terminal. To automate the installation, use the guide installing Composer programmatically. All I'm just going to do is copy this code, all right? I'll just come in here, copy this code, paste it in here, and it will do all that stuff. There's the last line that has not run because the others had enters following them. So I'll just come in here and press enter on this one. All right. And then to use this version of Composer, all I need to do is run php composer.phar. All right. I'll need to run that here. So php composer.phar. All right. And then I'll need to write install. Okay. If I write install, that's when it will install all the dependencies. And as you can see, it's installing all the dependencies as required. Now, after doing that, we're going to come in here and actually, let's go back to the browser and see what happens if we refresh this page. Now we have a server error. As you can see now, it's running the server error, but it's running it on a Laravel page. So what we can do in this situation, if we do ls again, we can be able to see that our composer.phar is here, and we can also see a few things that are already not being listed currently because they're hidden. So if I do ls all, then I'll be able to see the composer.lock, I'll be able to see the htaccess, I'll be able to see the gitignore and the git attributes. I'll be able to see all the files that have been left aside, even the .git file that has been initiated over there. So all I need to do at this point here is do as though I'm installing a Laravel application that was already installed, or rather I'm using a second-hand Laravel application. So what I need to do is copy this .env.example and paste it as a .env. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So copy, which is cp.env.example, all right, and then I'll do .env. Once I've done that, I'm going to come in here and nano.env, right? I love nano because it's very easy to use. I can see that we have various items over here. So we have database, username, and all that stuff. I can exit because I don't really need to change anything from this point. All I just need to do is run php artisan. And at this point, we can run php artisan just like that. So I can just do php artisan, and then I'll do key generate. And after doing that, of course, we will have our application running. Okay. Now, in a situation where you need to actually have a database that needs to be installed, what you could do is, the first things first, we need to set up a database. Okay. So I'm going to come in here, back into my Hostinger, go to databases, go to management. Okay. I'm going to come in here and create a DB database. Okay. The user is going to be called test. The database name is test as well. The password will be something different. Maybe say test at 12345. Okay. Just like this. And then I'm going to create. Upon creating, I am going to come in here and copy this. The MySQL database and MySQL user are one and the same. The password is what has changed. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to my terminal, the one that has the site opened, this one. All right. And then I'm going to come in here. Let's just clear this for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to nano.env, which will open it up for editing, and you can see the app key has been placed. So what I'm going to do here is I'll replace the DB database. So all I need to do is press shift insert here, then I'll press enter on this, then DB username will be the same. So shift insert, then over here the DB password, let's leave it empty for now so that we can see what happens if we try and run the migrate function. So save and enter. So if I come in here and do php artisan migrate, it will say access denied because there's no password. All right. So I'll need to come in here and put the password. So I'll come in here and nano.env again, and then I'll come and put the password over here, which was test at 12345. And then I'm going to come in here and save this with a Y and then enter. Okay. So upon doing that, and we can confirm that this is the password indeed. So once we come and do that, we'll come in and just run php artisan migrate, and it will run. I could see the user's passwords and the failed jobs token, the personal access tokens have been created. Now, upon doing that, we will have like a database situation that's already been described for our application right now. So in a case where you need to do that with a Laravel application that you've crafted so seriously in terms of, the DB is so wide and vast, the UI is so wide and vast and all that stuff, just do what I've done. use Git, use CI/CD, and use Hostinger's business web shared hosting or the premium web shared hosting. Avoid the first package. Avoid the first package because the first package really doesn't have much to do with it. So you can see there's no free domain, whereas for these ones have free domains. For here, there's no WP CLI, there's no WordPress multi-site, but for this one there is. And then of course SSH access, which without it we wouldn't be able to do these things with the terminal. All right. So that's how you go about hosting a Laravel 10 application on a shared hosting plan. If you did, however, enjoy this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, turn on the bell notifications so that you can be notified every single time I go ahead and be either on a live stream or I post a new video for you guys to learn from. That will be all from me, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been Steve Nyanumba, and this has been htaccess, and I am signing out. Thank you so much for watching, and you know what? Adios, and God bless.